Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Larry McClendon with National Insurance Agency, and we want to talk to you today about supplemental products and a little bit about short-term, which we just covered in a different segment. But supplemental products are extremely high commission-paying products, and I think they're really sometimes undervalued and underused. You can really make a great living using supplemental products, and so what I'm going to do today is start going over the critical illness, AME, heart attack, cancer, stroke, the dental, discount cards, and the disability. Right now, as you know, on United short-term plans, if you add on any one of those that I just mentioned, is another $50 bonus, excluding commissions. But I think a lot of you may be really shocked to know some of the commissions on these plans, and I want to just go over them really quick with you before I start writing on this whiteboard behind me. AME on an area level, which is kind of middle of the road, middle to lower end of the road, 56% commission. Heart attack, cancer, stroke, 60% commission. Critical illness, 90%, and that's from Assurant. So very simple issue, easy issue. Dental is 55% commission. Who has ever heard of a dental with 55% commission and a 12-month advance? All of these are with a 12-month advance. So get busy, call your clients. These are significant earnings. So short-term alone, we just went over that. So if you want to go to the short-term tab and look under there and see the commission breakdown on selling a short-term, right now the median commission on an area level for United is 20%. For Assurant, it's 19%. For IHC, it is 24%. So, but remember, United has the bonus, United has the advance. So, and we also just started advancing Assurant, a 3-month advance on the Assurant short term on our own. Assurant doesn't do that, we do that. So, I want to talk with you first about AME. Very important product because of the fact that in some of these Obamacare plans, the deductibles are so high, we're really leaving our clients hung out there to dry when this $6,000 may as well be $20,000 or $100,000. They can't come up with the $6,000. But for maybe $1 a day, I did a $10,000 quote here, and this was on a family of 36-year-old male, 36 female, and 2 kids, and $10,000. The cost on it was $53. So very inexpensive. The cost $53. Okay, and so that is at a 56% commission, and good commission. So that would be a monthly renewal of $29. That would be paid out. So we're going to accelerate that to you times 12 months and give you $348 on this one deal, on top of whatever your ACA commissions. ACA commissions, I'm seeing them running, the average are running around, $800 to $900 to $1,000 to $1,200 per deal, whether it's subsidized or non-subsidized. So adding another $348 is really bumping up your commission significantly. But let's take away the health stuff right now. Let's say you just had to make a living with AME and some of these other plans I'm going to show you. I just want to take a look, and I'm going to make a little side note over here of $348 for AME. Okay, and then the next one I'm going to do is heart attack, cancer, stroke. Heart, cancer, stroke. Okay, I did $10,000 on it as well. You're going to be shocked at how much the expense that is. And if you can't sell this to somebody, you're not much of a salesman. It's $9.95.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this is for that same family, and this is paying at 60% commission. Okay, well, that doesn't turn out to a lot of money in the monthly renewal section, but that, our department, so that would be a whopping $6 a month. But we're going to accelerate that to you by 12 months. So that would equal, it is $72. So not a bad little payday. So you got $72 there. I'm going to add all these up here in just a few minutes. haven't pre-done this, so we're doing this kind of on the fly, and I want to do it. I like doing things live and unscripted. The big daddy is critical illness. And as I said in the previous segment, that I really believe in this product a lot, and I think that you should try to have one on every one of your clients because, as most of you probably know, my dad passed away in October from lymphoma after a 1-year battle with it, and it was a battle. And for mom and dad living, an hour away from MD Anderson and having to drive back and forth, the expenses were enormous. Parking at the hospital is about $20 a day. The gas back and forth, the hotels, not to mention the medication, experimental, was not covered. And I'll never forget when the doctor called us family in to a separate room without my dad, and they said, okay, we've really run out of options here. All we really have left is trial medication. And if you want to pursue this, and if you can afford it, we need to discuss it. And I said, well, what do you mean if you can afford it? She said, well, the way the health plans are designed now with all the new legislation, experimental medications are not covered. Well, they've never really been covered, but there for a while they kind of laxed up on some of that. But now it's pretty ingrained into the system. So I said, my first comment was, well, how much is it? And when can you get it? And she said, I can have it here tomorrow, overnighted, and it's $3,500 a month. And I said, well, okay, get it. And my brothers all agreed. The only thing that, even though if we weren't a family that could have afforded it on our own, we would have bought it. But there's a lot of families that probably couldn't do that, and I sympathize wholeheartedly with them. But one thing that I did 19 years ago was I sold my mom and dad a critical illness policy. And we had a contest. I asked every agent to sell one to either themselves or their wife or a family member, their mom and their dad, or someone that they know, a friend, just to get used to selling the product and seeing the commissions and see how they pay, see how it works, and how long they stick to the books. Now, even though I paid the premium on this thing for 19 years, I never thought we'd use it. Really didn't. I struggled with, after 19 years, I began to think, they're never going to use this. Should I cancel it? Every time I thought about canceling it, I thought, oh, Murphy's Law, as soon as I cancel that, something will go wrong. Well, I'll never forget the day that Mom called and she said that they think Dad has lymphoma. And I thought, oh, that can't be, that's just not him. He was riding his horses and very healthy, and, it just didn't seem right. But as that disease took progress and started taking him from a muscular, healthy guy down to a different person, really, in looks and in their being. It's very sad to see. And, it went from my dad being able to be a very robust guy handling horses and cattle, and to where my brother actually at one point picked him up himself and put him in his car, and he could get him to the hospital faster than the ambulance could get to my mom and dad's house. So it was something to see. But the point of my speech here on this is, through this whole ordeal, the critical illness had paid when nothing else had. And the money, it pays on diagnosis. So they had that money. Not that we really used it, so to speak. They were lucky enough on that, but even after Dad died, Mom had about 4 different life insurance policies. None of them had paid or would pay until she provided them. And then he died at Methodist, which is in Harris County. We lived in Brazoria County, so that took time getting they needed the death certificate. And you can imagine how fast those government employees work in there. They're working like little turtles. So Mom waited and waited for the death certificate to have the life insurance companies begin to pay. She also needed the obituary out of the paper and a couple of other things, I think, to prove that he had passed away. So nothing had paid, probably 30 days, even after he had died, except for the critical illness, had paid way in advance. So I'm just telling you my story of this, and also we had, I know, 2 or 3 different agents. That one called me and he said his wife had developed breast cancer. He was so happy that we had asked to do that contest. They actually bought a lake house and she recovered out there around the lake, in kind of serene place where she could relax and not think about, all the stress of everyday life. And then we had another agent out of San Antonio. She noticed about 30 days a lump in her breast. And so the company actually looked at that one a little odd because it happened so fast after the contest. But this was a random contest, and they did pay her on the thing. So it was well worth it. But I just wanted to give you a little story. Sometimes you have to inform people, what is critical illness? What is it going to do? 1.4 million Americans were diagnosed with cancer this year. So we all know somebody that has had cancer, passed away from cancer, heart attacks, strokes. If you look at the Assurity plan, which is one of my most favorite of all of them, it covers 21 different critical illnesses, including Alzheimer's. I really like that plan. If you're going from highest to lowest in cost, and you're trying to help someone on a subsidized plan, maybe the $995 a month heart attack, cancer, and stroke are the 2-3 major things that probably are going to happen. But let them decide. Ask them the question. You might be really surprised. I asked a lady who works up at the pharmacy the other day, who she's worked there for 25 years. I assumed she would probably want one of the better plans she wanted an indemnity plan. And so what I assumed she wanted was totally opposite. She wanted the least expensive. And so I have to go sell her today when I get off, is to take a laptop in there and just sign her up real quick. But she hounds me every day, and I keep thinking, I forget my laptop, or I forgot an iPad or anything. I just need to walk in there and do it and get it over with. And but we all have clients like that. Everywhere you go, you're needed. So if you haven't set up your storefronts, we're putting a booth actually in that pharmacy. We have agents there. There's another one we're putting them in. So look for places that need you or can share you or bring them more business, like a H&R Block or a tax company that would help bring your side, Obamacare enrollees would help bring them business, and you can share some of the space. We used to share space at horse shows on our National Farm and Ranch Association plan with a company called Kirby Cowgirl, and it was for women that were in the show horse business, and they were a little on the heavier side, so they needed some fancy clothes with sequins on them to show their horses. And believe it or not, it was a really great business, because I guess a lot of those girls that are wrangling those horses are pretty big. I mean, not big, but they have their boots on and they're ready to go. So I'll leave it at that. But anyway, on critical illness, I did a $50,000 quote, and she was a good friend of mine, by the way, and her assistant, and they were both Kirby. I actually let them store some of their clothes in one of my garages one time for one point, and they had a lot of inventory. It was a very unique business. They had an 18-wheeler, and they would, every weekend there's a horse show somewhere. So, there's even more opportunity there for sales. We shared, the reason I went into that is we shared part of her booth at Kirby Cowgirl for our National Farm and Ranch plans, because all of those ranchers have so many employees. None of them have health insurance, none of them have accident insurance, and they all have accidents, and then when they take them to the emergency room, it's just right out of their pocket. So for a little less than $1 a day, they can cover them very easily. So there's another tip for you. But on the critical illness, I did a $50,000 benefit for this couple with 2 kids, and it came out to $46.95, I believe, for the cost on that couple. I mean, on the primary insured. And with Assurant, this is at a 90% advance. So, big commission. All right? So, really, that turns into a $41 a month renewal. We're going to accelerate that to you by 12 months. And we're going to give you, on this critical illness, $492. So I'm just going to go ahead and write it over here. $492 on this, CI. And one of the big things that you need to remember is when you're selling to these clients, the big question to ask is, they typically put it on the husband, the breadwinner, but the big question to ask, especially if both are present, is, if you're going to put $50,000 on yourself, is your wife not worth the same $50,000? I mean, typically in today's world, most households are two income earners, building up the money that they have coming in every month to pay all their bills, their household, house payments, car payments, everything that they pay. They need both those payments, those incomes. So the $50,000 in a lump sum check coming to them, you'll be really doing them a favor. So what I'm getting at is, if you ask that question, you would then have another $492 coming at you for the wife as well. So now that's a big payday. So this is just on supplements, and if I can get you to add those up for me real quick while I'm doing all this, I'm going to move into the dental. Dental, never seen a carrier pay higher commissions than Assurant Health. I did middle of the road, the $26.50, the level 2 benefit at $26.50. Level 2. There's a level 1 and a level 3. So with middle of the road, and that is at a 55% commission. Okay, and so that would pay you $15 a month, would be $180. So grand total, if you did not even sell a health plan to this couple, and you just gave them AME, heart attack, cancer, stroke, CI, and dental, you would have earned $1,404 tomorrow.
Well, that's without the dental. With the dental, I didn't get that one.
That's without the dental.
You're looking at $1,584.
Okay, so Vanessa just added the dental in there, so that would be $1,584. Even better. So we got $29 on the AME, renewal $6, renewal on the heart, cancer, heart and stroke. CI, we've got $72 worth of renewal. $41 worth of renewal. And then on the dental, we have $26.50. So, with all that said, a grand total of $1,584. That's without a health plan. So, let's say you just went with supplements and you learn these like the back of your hand, so you can talk about them. Why do I need an AME, Mr. Agent? Well, unfortunately, with the new healthcare plans, the deductibles are very high. One of the lowest I've seen is a $2,000 deductible or a zero deductible on a platinum plan. That platinum plan was $1,600 a month for this same family. Not many people can afford that. So you need this to help cover the cost if something happens to get them in the hospital with a low deductible. And then the heart attack, cancer, stroke. We're all going to have a heart attack, cancer, or stroke. We're all going to have a critical illness. I like one of my favorites is the Assurity, but this one is simple, quick, easy add-on at 90%. Huge commission level on that. This is at an area rate, by the way. So critical illness, I believe Assurant covers 14 critical illnesses. You can look at your brochure and hone in and just memorize those. I had them memorized, but now we've got between United, Golden Rule, Golden Rule and United, and then the Assurant, the Assurity, and all the different critical illness plans we have. It's a little hard to remember which one is actually which. But pick the one you like best, go with it, present it, and let your customer decide. And remember to go with Plan 1, most affordable. Plan 2 would be the most popular. Plan 3 would be the most extensive. And this really is where you're going to land each time. So with that said, I'll wrap up today on supplemental products, and I hope you understand it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call in here to the office and talk to myself or one of the other agent support staff, and we will make sure you understand and make it a great day. And go into the back of eStore and go into the back of Assurant and look at the on-demand videos. They're priceless. It will help you know the products. All right? Thank you and have a great day.